Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new and improved political jargon channel. I hope everyone is having a great, as much as they can, in this very confusing time, having a great day. Um, Sorry, I just realized that I'm having issues now. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and get this down. Yeah, as I was saying, welcome to the new and improved um, political jargon show. Um, Hope everyone is having a great day. Let's go ahead and switch this on over. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and just I want to talk about this. Obviously, we um, we are having an interesting time. I want to talk about this. As you can see on the screen right now, the AP is reporting that this is obvious. We knew this was going to happen. Trump is suing 3 states, which, sorry, give me 1 second, guys, which we knew was going to happen. He's suing, um, he is suing Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Um, Today is Thursday, so yesterday, um, President Donald Trump um, filed lawsuits Wednesday in those 3 states as we continue to find someone to get 270 electoral votes. Um, so, what does that mean exactly? Um, well, what that means is that one, what I said yesterday and have been saying for like a month and a half at this point now is true. This is going to the Supreme Court. How do we respond? How do we go from here? Is still unknown to me. I don't really necessarily know what to do. Um, so this is very complicated because it's legal jargon and it's just you can only do so much with that. Um, so he's started to lay the groundwork to start using the courts to go after these battleground states. As the AP is saying, the new findings just add on to the already existing Republican legal challenges that they were doing before the election. The one in Pennsylvania is the one I'm thinking about. Uh, they want to demand better access for campaign observers to locations where ballots are being processed and counted and raise absentee ballot concerns, the campaign said. However, at one Michigan location in question, the AP observed poll watchers from both sides monitoring on Wednesday. Um, so let's continue to read. The Trump campaign also is seeking to intervene in a Pennsylvania case at the Supreme Court that deals with whether ballots received up to 3 days after the election can be counted. Um, the actions reveal an emerging legal strategy that the president has signaled for weeks, namely that he would attack the integrity of the voting progress in states where the results could mean his defeat. We knew they were going to recall in Wisconsin, not recall, but recount in Wisconsin. I don't know what the other requirements for are in the other states, but we can assume that it's probably safe to say that depending on what the final total is, maybe Michigan gets a recount. Um, Probably Georgia gets a recount. Um, um, his campaign also announced that it would ask for a recount in Wisconsin after the AP called it for Biden on Wednesday afternoon. Campaign manager Bill Stepien cited irregularities in several Wisconsin counties. Um, so this is going to get very interesting very quickly, in my opinion. Um, Sorry, let me go ahead and move this. Um, Oops. So what that means now for us is we have to we have to like we have to start thinking about what this means for us, right? Um, they're gonna start they're gonna start talking about transparency in their um, I mean, we've been saying this for weeks at this point. Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders talked about this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, in October, that this is the path that they were going to take, and there's a reason they filled the Supreme Court seat as fast as they did, because they needed her to be there in case anything went to the Supreme Court, and it looks like that's what's going to happen. Um, um, as we go on this AP article, this is what it's saying. Um, the AP's Michigan call for Biden came after the suit was filed. The president is ahead in Pennsylvania, but his margin is shrinking as more mail-in ballots are counted. There have been no reports of fraud of any type of ballot concerns out of Pennsylvania. The state had 3.1 million mail-in ballots that take time to count, and an order allows them to be received and counted up until Friday if they are postmarked by November 3rd. Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro said in a CNN interview that the lawsuit was more a political document than a legal document. There is transparency in this process. The counting has been going on. There are observers observing this counting, and the counting will continue. The Michigan lawsuit, on the other hand, claims Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, a Democrat, was allowing absentee ballots to be counted without teams of bipartisan observers as well as challengers. She's accused of undermining the constitutional right of all Michigan voters to participate in fair and lawful elections. Poll watchers from both sides were plentiful Wednesday at one major polling place in question, the TCF Center in Detroit, the AP observed. They checked in at a table near the entrance to the convention center's Hall E and strolled along among the tables where ballot processing was taking place. In some cases, they arrived in mass and huddled together for a group discussion before fanning out onto the floor. Uniformed Detroit police officers were on hand to make sure everything was behaving. Mark Brewer, a former state Democratic chairman who said he was observing the Detroit vote counting as a volunteer lawyer, said he had been to the TCF arena all day and had talked with others who had been there the past couple of days. He said Republicans had not been denied access. This is the best absentee ballot counting operation that Detroit has ever had. They are counting ballots efficiently despite the obstructing tactics of the Republicans. So I want to focus in on one part here that said, I mean, he went into detail about that, but I want to really focus in on in Pennsylvania. The state had 3.1 million mail-in ballots that take time to count. I really need to emphasize this. Republicans and Donald Trump had been talking about how Donald Trump refused $25 billion in emergency funding to the post office to make sure ahead of the election that this process could be as smooth as possible. And Republicans want to do it both ways. They want to not use the government, right? Because they hate the government, to fund the foundations of how they want it both ways. They want to be able to say we shouldn't count these ballots because of how long this process is taking. Why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? It's obviously fraud. It's all fraudulent. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. when they had the ability to fund the groundwork and the foundation to make sure this process went smoothly. They want to obstruct the funding and then criticize how there wasn't enough, how the process was taking too slow. And you don't get to do that. That's not how that works, right? $25 billion to the post office, you could probably save so much time and effort going into this counting process, but they didn't want to fund the post office. Of course, it's going to take a long time because there is no operational or barely any operational standards and requirements because they didn't have time to put them in. So they're there. Let me reiterate. They are there. Those operational standards are there. The groundwork is there. But it's not sophisticated enough to keep up with the amount of input of votes, the amount of votes coming in. So this is the most frustrating part about this. They wanted to not fund the post office, even though the post office was going to be how we get the votes the fastest, especially with the mail-in votes. You throw in a little bit of the COVID-19 pandemic and everything just is going to shit. And they could have done something about it, but they didn't want to. That's the thing. They didn't want to. So it's all very frustrating. We have to just keep in mind that this was the plan all along. They want to go. They want to go to the Supreme Court. That's the way that they're going to win. Trump, addressing supporters at the White House early Wednesday, talked about taking the undecided race to the Supreme Court. Though it was unclear what he meant, his comments invoked a response of the court's intention in the 2000 presidential election that ended with the decision effectively handing the presidency to George W. Bush. There are differences. A case would have to come to the court from a state in which the outcome would determine the election's winner. That's one of the differences. It's Biden campaign attorney Bob Bauer said if Trump goes to the high court, he will be in for one of the most embarrassing defeats a president has ever suffered by the highest court in the land. I mean, he says that. I don't necessarily know if I believe that. They did say that Bush v. Gore can't be used as precedent, so they can't use that as an argument for why they could follow up Bush v. Gore with this. Biden v. Trump, I guess. We'll call it Biden v. Trump. I just wanted to give you guys an update, and my plan is to do this regularly. We'll just see what happens. Highest turnout possibly in a very long time in the United States. So we'll just see right now. Just keep an eye out for those court rulings. Just keep an eye out for what that means for us, what that means for everyone else. It'll be very interesting to see what that looks like. So I just wanted to give you that update. I hope everyone's doing okay. We should be good. I don't think this is the end of the country. I think we'll be okay. So I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and we'll see each other hopefully on the other side of this thing.